Hello. I have not had time to record a lot this month, and it's already what? It's the 28th. And I was like, I'm going to be really upset with myself if I don't get this recorded. I was like, I'm going to come on and I'm going to film this while I do like a get unready with me. And sort of, I'm going to put heatless curlers in. I'm going to tell you about my month. May has been crazy. May is my favorite month of the year because it's my birthday. And obviously, you know, we really haven't even done a video about the red hair. I have like 300 grams of extensions in. It's a lot. And my guides kept saying at the beginning of the month, so I officially colored it on the 30th. And start putting these in. I officially started coloring it on the 30th, and I ended up running out of hair. And it was the weirdest thing, because normally I order my hair from a really specific vendor, and it was the same weeks that the tariffs went in, and I couldn't order the hair from the same vendor. Oh, that's too much hair. And so I ordered 200 grams of hair, and it wasn't enough. And I ran out of hair, and I was like freaked out because I've never had that happen before. And I basically just had to be really, really patient, because I put in another order for another 100 grams, like 120 grams or something. And it was just really weird because I couldn't really go anywhere for that week. And the sort of layout of me coloring my hair red was the third week of April. I had a dream about, it was like really a spiritual, like intense spiritual dream. And it was basically, this is going to sound deep, but my guides took me to this field, and it was on the other side, obviously. And I was walking, and there was like 200 women that were redheads in this field. And I didn't know what the point of the dream was, because I didn't know any of these people. And as we were in this field, it was all of the women who had been persecuted on earth for having red hair, or witches. And it was a really intense dream. It was all these women, and they were, one walked forward, still don't know who she was, and she said, "We're with you. We're with you. If you color your hair red and you choose your path, we are with you. We are all with you." And I was like, whoa, this is intense. And because I was still at that point going back and forth on, should I color my hair red? You know what I mean? So anyway, after that happened, I just felt like that was the right thing to do. I don't know how to explain it. So started the hair color process on April 30th. My guides had come to me almost every night in a dream, really intense dreams. And they were like, if you choose to color your hair red, you're walking through a one-way portal, they kept saying. And they said, so essentially they were saying I was jumping timelines. This is like quantum physics, quantum jumping. When you jump timelines, it basically means you're embodying the next version of yourself, like the higher version of yourself. And it quite literally means the past version of yourself doesn't exist. And I was like, okay, I'm quantum jumping apparently. I don't know what that means. Like, I've done it before, but this time my guides were like actively talking me through it every day. So from the second the red dye hit my hair, it was like a bomb went off. And it was weird. It wasn't, I had this dream in January, and the dream was this huge storm that was happening. And I was walking down the street with my guide. I was on the street that I grew up in Denver, or Lakewood, Colorado. And I was walking down the street, and I knew where I was. And my guide was like, he's like, we need to go in the house. And he kept pointing over to this massive storm. It looked like a cyclone, it looked like a hurricane, it looked like it was massive. And I was worried. I was like, what if we go in the house and it like hits the house? He's like, nope, you're gonna be safe. You're gonna be safe. And this month was the cyclone. It was like, they must have known that I was in my sort of resurrection era. And so anyway, I'm gonna brush this up and put it into another heatless curl. So anyways, it was just really intense month. It was just a really, really intense month. And it started pretty much from the second when I started coloring my hair. So that week, which was the first week of May, I had the most bizarre shit happen. Like, so I'm in between, you know, coloring hair. I'm not done coloring my hair. And my friend calls and says, hey, I'm cutting a tree down. Will you come help me? I don't know what in my right mind possessed me to go help. I don't know what I was thinking, why I would even want to do that. And I go over, I help cut the tree down. Did I leave some ends out? Shoot. I cut the tree down, which I'm not very much like of a handyman, by the way. I was just like, I did help with like the saw and stuff. And I got home and I looked down at my hands and they were just like bloodied and blistered, completely bloodied and blistered. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Why did I do that? Like, that was just like the stupidest thing ever. Now, when my hair extensions come in, my hands are just going to be like pretty much bruised and like beat to hell. And I was like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Oh my God, it was just so dumb. So my other extensions came in and like, obviously I have half a head of extensions and I had to finish what I started. And my hands were just beat to hell. I mean, I had a blister on this hand that was half of the hand and it was just, the skin was like sloughing off of it. And so it was weird stuff like that. Like, I'm not even going to tell you guys everything that happened. And I was kind of worried because like, well, you know, my guide said this is a resurrection. It's my final rebirth. Okay. But like, it's starting off pretty rough. You know, like there were, like I said, other things that were happening, just weird, bizarre stuff that I don't... You know, and I remembered back to the other rebirths that I'd gone through, and it's rough. You know, you think of a rebirth like an actual woman goes through on the planet. It's not pretty. It's messy. It can be gory. It's bloody. It's painful. You're crying. And when you go through that, even energetically with yourself, it's the same. It's painful. It's bloody. Literally, it's gory. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. It's all of the above. And so anyway, it was just a weird month. It was just a really, really weird month. And I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I'm also going to not edit this video. I'm done with my past of like, you know, not being confident. Like I used to, you know, the studio messed me up for a long time. Working in production, because you have to fine tune and make everything pristine, and moving into a YouTuber or an influencer, people want to see like the raw emotional side of you. Things aren't perfect. Like life is not perfect. You know what I mean? But for a long time, I'd be like, I can't upload anything because I'm not ready. It's not perfect. It's not pristine. There would be times in my career, even with the old YouTube channel, where there were so many videos I didn't even upload because to me it wasn't good enough in my head. Because I was constantly comparing myself to the studio, and I'm not in that era anymore. Like, I will not do that anymore. I'm not that person. I'm just going to be myself and be authentic, and like, you either like it or you don't, you know what I mean? But, it was a strange month. There was just a lot of weird things. When you rebirth, or like, I'm resurrecting is what my guides were saying. I'm in the final phase of, you know, walking through darkness, essentially the dark night of the soul, which is like all the healing that I've gone through for the last few years. You know, I've had 1,000 deaths of old versions of myself. I'm in my final phase. I'm in my final form, right? And, you know, I've been manifesting moving. You guys know that, you know, like manifesting my dad's estate closing, all that stuff. And when you confidently resurrect, when you confidently merge with your higher self, when you're at the end of this journey of what I've been seriously documenting for you guys, right? All of a sudden, your spirit team steps in and they will violently remove people, places, and things that no longer serve you. Whether you like it or not, they are going to violently remove everything that doesn't serve your path anymore. And moving to the East Coast, let's talk about that briefly. I don't want to go in depth, okay? But so this is going to sound stupid, but I'm going to share it with you guys because I'm just going to be authentic. When I was a kid or younger, I don't remember when Ghost Whisperer came out. Do you remember that show with Jennifer Love Hewitt? I loved that show. I could binge that show on Hulu for days, okay? Like, I could rewatch it. I've probably seen it 100 times. I used to just be obsessed with that show, and I used to wish I was the Ghost Whisperer, which is odd because we're moved into that phase. But anyway, I haven't even thought about that. But anyway, I loved that show, right? So the show was supposed to take place at like a sleepy small town on the East Coast, New York, Pennsylvania area. It was actually filmed at Universal in California, but I didn't care, okay, because I had researched it at that time. Obviously, that was like before I was in film. Anyway, I always dreamed of moving to Pennsylvania, New York, I guess, Cat's a little far north. Cat's in New Hampshire. I like Woodstock, Vermont, but it's a little far north. Like, I'm thinking I really don't want to be more than like 1 or 2 hours from a major airport, so preferably like JFK. I'm also not a huge, I don't like Delaware. I've lived in Maryland before. I'm not a Jersey girl. So I know where I want to be. I want to be in a smaller town, 1 or 2 hours away from an airport. So anyways, it doesn't have to be JFK, by the way. I'm just using that as an example. I always wanted to move there. But here's the thing. I always knew it wasn't possible. I love how haunted it is. I love cobblestone. I love history. I love old buildings. I love Tudor homes. I love Victorian homes. There's a few Tudor homes and there's a few Victorian homes in Colorado. More north, like in Fort Collins area. You can find some in downtown Denver, but it was never where I wanted to be, if that makes sense. So, when I was younger, I just didn't think it was going to happen. And the main reason was I was extremely close with my aunt. I was extremely close with my grandmother. Obviously, you guys know these stories. I was extremely close with my mom, and my whole family unit was Denver. So, and even my mom, I always thought, she did move with me to Vegas. I assumed she would just always come with me wherever I went. But I knew if I would have mentioned New York or the East Coast to my mom, she would have been like, not going. And then I wouldn't have gone. So it's odd that it was like in my heart of hearts, if that makes sense. It's always been back there just because it's like so old and so haunted. And it's one of the oldest parts of America. I'm not a Southern girly, NOLA, Louisiana, love the lore, love the vampire lore down there, the werewolf lore, the voodoo lore, love it. But I couldn't do Louisiana. My dad was in Florida for most of my life, and I'd have to go visit him in Sarasota, and so I hate the humidity. It's okay to visit. To live is just like a whole nother monster, not my thing. And anyway, long story short is, my guides have been sort of guiding me, saying there's going to be a move happen, and it's odd because nothing's really holding me back. And I thought, it's a dark thought, but the first thing I thought when my mom died was I want to move to the East Coast because nothing's holding me back now. There's nothing holding me back from that. I don't want to go back in production. I'm not going to go back into film. I don't ever want to move back to LA. Vegas is literally just an extension of LA, if I'm being honest. It's literally LA 2.0, And I miss the seasons. I miss snow and I miss grass. We don't really have a lot of grass in Vegas. I miss trees. I miss Colorado's rivers. And I'm not a huge hiker, but I miss the mountains and the cool air and rain. Oh my God, I miss rain. I miss weather. I just miss it. And so when my mom died, the first thought I had was like, I wonder how I can make that happen. And my guides have communicated with me this whole time of like, you know, it would be beneficial. And then it's weird, I've always been into astrology. I read my astrology chart. My sun and my north node are conjunct in Taurus. Moving to a north node place or your sun place is where you can be seen the most, or one of the places you can be seen the most. My north node and my sun run right through Salem, which is really weird, like unplanned, you know. And then I have other points, like there's a couple of points in New York and a couple of points in Pennsylvania. And I'm not moving just for astrological purposes, but it was a benefit. I was like, oh my God, maybe that was always my internal clock, like pointing me, you know, my internal compass pointing me in that direction or whatever. But after this month, and after I walked through the portal that they claim I did, just from something as simple as hair color, all of a sudden I'm starting to see a lot of signs about moving. They are collapsing everything in Vegas. And I know you know what I'm talking about partially. Part of it, not all of it, part of it. But they are collapsing everything in Vegas so that when I leave, I have no what ifs. Not a single one. So it's been a bizarre thing. Like, you know, it's almost like a tower card. Like you go through this portal, you go through this resurrection, you say, I've done as much healing as I can. I'm ready to merge, you know, with my higher self. Like, and this is for anybody who especially is like, you know, into the healer or the star seed or the indigo children or, you know, any of the star seeds that chose to sort of incarnate. It's claimed there's 144,000 star seeds that chose to incarnate to sort of bring Earth out of the darkness and show them the light. And unfortunately, you can't show people the light unless you've walked through darkness. It's just the truth. I would have never known that would have been my path, but it is. It's an odd feeling knowing that, like, I would have never wished for my mom's death. But on the other hand, if she wouldn't have died, I wouldn't have gotten these amazing abilities. I have the coolest abilities, and I haven't even used them in haunted locations yet. Like, I can't even imagine what's going to happen when I get to go investigate somewhere that's like super haunted. I think it's going to be really cool. And you know what else is cool? I've noticed is like my close inner circle of friends have all developed abilities. So I don't know if it's because we are feeding off of each other's light. I'm getting like clairaudience in my ear, but all of my friends, Kat, her abilities have even gotten stronger. Josh, he does my camera op work and my security on set. He's gotten abilities. He hears messages like clear as day. So, and I have other friends too. And just, like, also my soul family is starting to come in. More soul family. So it's just that proof of when you step into another version of yourself. And this happened with all my rebirths too. Your spirit team will know what's best for you, obviously, and they will remove everything that is no longer, it just doesn't serve you in the next phase of life. Like, unfortunately, old paradigms, old timelines, people that are connected to those places, things, will not be able to go with you to the next timeline because you're in a totally new vibration, a totally new version of yourself, and you cannot take any baggage with you. They just won't allow it. They will smash it completely. And so, I mean, I'm safe. Nothing bad has happened this month. Like, nothing bad's happened. It's just I'm being very, very, very much pointed in a new direction. I've had some job offers on the East Coast too, which is crazy for like what I want to do, influencing makeup, hairstylist, personal stylist, you know, stuff like that. Relocation fees included. I haven't accepted anything yet. But I think that's like just a hint of what's coming. And I'm just waiting. Like, I know there's going to be an opportunity that happens, and I'm going to have to walk through it, whatever that means. And I think it's coming sooner rather than later. I wouldn't be shocked if something major happens for me like before October 1st. And I've been waiting for that. Like, I trust my guides. I have all the faith in them. That's why I haven't forced a move. I haven't forced anything to happen, because I know that they're going to guide me in the best way possible. They can see things before you can, months in advance, you know? I mean, tonight I went to the casino, and I never gamble because I hate losing money. And I ended up winning like $700, $750. Jupiter also moves into Cancer on June 6th. I'm a Cancer rising. So if you have cardinal signs in major placements, so cardinal is Libra, Cancer especially, Aries, and Capricorn, you're going to be really lucky in like all areas of life, love, money, all that stuff. And I'm a Cancer rising, so girl, I'm waiting for it. It's going to be 1 year of just like pure luck for cardinal signs. And I guess I'm just here to, you know, my guide's like, you've got to record a video about the resurrection. Like, you can't wait till the 1st. It needs to be done before the 1st. I'm like, okay, it's 10:30 at night, but I'll do it right now. It's crazy to think about everything I've been through over the last few years, and you guys have seen it. I've recorded it. I can't believe that I had the strength in me to record the journey of healing from such a traumatic event. Like, it's weird. I'm in a mind space now where I wouldn't feel confident to do that. And I was like so raw with you guys as things were happening. And like even showing different versions of myself is just crazy. Crazy. I just can't believe. I think that my guides are wanting me to say this. I pray to God no one ever goes through what I went through. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish pain or torment on anyone, losing a loved one, especially at the hands of someone else. And especially like for me, my mom being killed and like not being able to hold that person accountable is like extra traumatic, right? I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And I hope that I go through the darkest of the dark and no one else has to. That's just how I feel. Like, I don't want anyone else to experience what I did. But I will say this, like, I know losing loved ones is horrible. It's traumatic. It changes you. That's a death in itself. It doesn't matter if they died naturally or not. When you lose a dog, a pet, they're like your child. You know, you lose an actual child, that's traumatic. Like, I just want everyone to know that the light is possible. Healing is possible. You can get to the other side and become the best version of yourself. You can survive it. At the time, it feels like, I mean, there were days I didn't want to live. There were days I didn't want to make it. You know, there were days I hoped I just didn't wake up. And I would hate more than anything when people would say like cruel things. Especially like not a lot of people have experienced murder, right? You know what I mean? Like, not a lot of people experience like someone dying at the hands of someone else. So people can't relate. You know what I mean? So I would have people say like, oh, I lost my grandma once. Yeah, I'm upset. But like, you'll get over it. It'll be all right. Like, that would piss me off to high heaven when people would say that shit. Like, you have no clue what the fuck I just went through. You know what I mean? Like, it is painful. I promise it's painful. But if you choose to become the best version of yourself, and it's what I've said before, our loved ones, I wish you guys could see what I see. I wish you could see the other side. I go home every night. I can see my family every night. I know what my home looks like on the other side. We are in spirit right now. We are having a human experience. We are dreaming right now that we're on this planet. I swear to God, that's the truth. And I know because I wake up there every night. We are in spirit on the other side, dreaming we're having a human experience. And when you go home, you wake up and like, oh my God, that was crazy. You should have seen what happened. And the reason I'm telling you this is I promise your loved ones are on the other side fine. I promise they're okay. And I'm telling you right now, I'm getting like choked up. Your loved ones on the other side do not want you to mourn them forever. They don't want you to waste your life sad and just discontent with life. They don't want you to rot away slowly because of their traumatic death. I mean, my mom is the same way. She does not want me to just sit here and not live. But the sucky part is if you choose to live, because it is a choice, it's free will at the end of the day, that means you have to heal through it. And it's probably the most painful part, and it's a lesson. And in a way, your soul may have chosen that lesson to heal so that you can become the next best version of yourself. And I'm not going to tell you that healing is all daisies, because it's not. There's so many layers to unpack with healing. Like, for me, it was, I'm sorry, I need my water. For me, it was like, the first stage was comprehending what happened to her. How could she die at the hands of someone else? How was I went to the police station. I tried to make a police report. I was banging on every door in the hospital. I went to the news stations. I went to the radio stations. No one would help me. No one would listen. No one held this woman accountable for anything she did. I witnessed what happened on FaceTime. I watched her kill my mom. And the first stage was, how do I unpack that? I don't know. I've never been through this before. There's no book on how you heal from that. I couldn't Google it. And luckily my spirit team stepped in and helped me. And everyone has the accessibility I do with their spirit team. But you have to ask for help. It's free will. You have to ask for help. And I don't know what I would have done without them, because there were some times I didn't think I was going to live. And the next phase of healing is, what does my life look like without this person? And what's going to happen? And unfortunately, there's no time limit on healing. You know, mine took a few years because I was actively just doing it every day, you know? And there were days I didn't want to get out of bed. There were days I didn't want to think. There were days I didn't want to heal. So I just let myself be. I rotted in bed. But then you get to a next phase where, like, for me, it was like, okay, when my parents are gone, and I was an only child, I was on a pedestal with them, and I had been created as a version that they wanted to see. My mom didn't like tattoos. She didn't want me to have red hair. She didn't want me to be too goth because she was afraid the world would judge me. I was a straight A student. She wanted me to go to Juilliard and play piano and sing. And, you know, she created this molding of me. But is that who I really am? Of course I love piano. Of course I love to sing, you know, like that was what I wanted to be when I was younger. But is really getting a tattoo make you a criminal? Not really. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't determine the kind of person you are. So the next phase for me, or the final phase, was sort of peeling back the false ideologies that my parents had implemented and taught me to believe. So you kind of step into this next final version where you're like, I love my mom, and she did the best she could, but I don't agree with the things she taught me. She was from Missouri. She had, you know, Midwestern beliefs. They grew up kind of in Bible country. And although she wasn't super religious, like, I'm allowed to look alternative and gothic because I've always been alternative and gothic since I was a kid. Like, there is no such thing as too much. There's just such thing as being you. It doesn't even need a title. You don't need to put yourself in a box. You don't even have to be titled as alternative and goth. You're just you. Doesn't matter what you look like. You're embodying your higher self. And that's what the image we project here is. Who do I look like on earth is who I look like on the other side, right? Tattoos or no tattoos, it doesn't matter. You're trying to embody who you are to your core. And it shouldn't be led with false belief systems. So the layers of healing is infinite. Mine may not match yours. Yours may not match mine. But I'll say this. If you go through the dark night of the soul and you experience something incredibly traumatic, whatever it is, and you choose to heal, when you get to the end like I have, not only is it liberating, and I told you I'm crowning myself, but it's also like, don't ever doubt yourself again. Which makes me go back to say, I wish you could see what I see on the other side. We don't have limitations like society and religion has put on us. Limitations don't exist there. you can manifest in 2 seconds. If you think of something, you want a 2-door house, it shows up however you want it. Part of the reason we incarnate here is to learn the appreciation of manifestation, how slow it is. And the other part of why we incarnate here is honestly love. And I don't mean just like romantic love. I just mean love in general. Learning to love each other, learning to love your pets, learning to love the planet. It's just love in general, right? But when you get to the end, it's beautiful. And I'm not saying that I'm happy that my mom died so that I could go through this. I'm not saying that. But I did do everything I could to stop it. And at the end of the day, you have to remember we're each on a soul journey. And she's told me several times she could have chose not to leave, and she chose to leave. She could have survived, she could have healed through it, and she chose to go. And that goes for all of us. We all have exit points. We have several exit points throughout our life, actually. And you get to choose if you're going to leave or not. I actually experienced an exit point when she died. I had the choice to leave. And that was when my guides gave me a life review. I had a life review on the other side. And I was watching my life play on this like huge screen. And I was like, wow, I did all this stuff. Like, I have such a message like for paranormal, women in film, women in paranormal. Like, it hasn't been lived yet. I'm like, why did the movie stop? And they're like, because you chose to leave. And I was like, no, I'm not done. I have to go back. My story's not finished. So I just want you to really think about living for yourself. And I know it's hard when we go through horrible, horrible things on this planet. This planet can be a dark, dark place. But try to look inward and face the mirror back at you so that you can give the love to yourself that you've always needed externally in whatever manner. That could mean experiencing abusive relationships. That could mean losing a loved one traumatically and feeling that emptiness of like a piece of your heart has been blown out and it's not coming back. Try to mirror it back to yourself, the love that you need. And let me just tell you this, that healing is a very isolating journey. There's no one that's going to be able to help you. And I know that's like tough love. I'm not saying that to be cruel, but in the beginning of my journey, I really was looking for people that had gone through similar circumstances to me. And I did. I found some women that actually survived being killed by medical staff. And they made it. It was horrible stories, but it couldn't compare to what I experienced. No one's ever going to be able to relive the same chapter that you've just lived, whatever the trauma is. Also, don't trauma bond with people because that's not healthy. That will keep you stuck in a cycle of emptiness and not wholeness because you're not mirroring it back to yourself. How can I heal me? How can I fulfill the needs that I seek within others? The pieces will come. Your spirit team's watching. They are there with you 24/7 whenever you need them. You just talk out loud. It's that simple. They will help you. They will light the path. But the problem is this, even on healing or not, you're not going to see the whole path. They're going to light up one stone at a time. And when that stone lights up, whatever that opportunity that comes in or that healing light, you have to be brave enough to decide to take that step. It's the Fool card. It's the leap. You have to be brave enough to take that step. They can't force you to do it. And if you choose not to, it's also free will. There's not a right or a wrong answer. But I'm just saying, healing spiritually elevates you to the highest version of yourself. And also, live your life to the fullest. Period. What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? Do it. Why aren't you doing it? Don't give me an excuse that it's your age. Don't tell me you're too old. Don't give me excuses. There's no excuse. Age doesn't exist on the other side. Time doesn't exist on the other side. And even think about like the 90-year-olds that'll be like, you know what? I never went, skydiving. I want to do that before I die. They get it. Because they're at the veil. They understand they're getting ready to cross back over and they're leaving the human experience behind. Do not stop yourself from living because once you get over there, you're going to regret it. Don't regret it. Don't regret living life. Don't regret your dreams, whatever it is, it's never too late. It's never too late. Anyway, this is the resurrection. It's been crazy. I've got to take my makeup off. I've got to go to bed. I'm going to upload this tonight. Just get it up there. There's been so much happen I can't even talk about. Like, I'm in the know on the paranormal side, as you guys know, with the, you know, the celebrities. And there's some horrible things happening behind the scenes that I can't talk about. There are some horrible things happening that I cannot talk about. And I just want to be a light in the dark. And I want to be a strong female to represent. And I'm not going to be scared or back down of anyone. And I'm going to light the pathway through the darkness of, let's not focus on the bad. Let's focus on becoming the highest version of ourselves. Because that's where the beauty lies. That's where the beauty lies. We're going to have a new podcast up on Friday. I already recorded it with Kat. I need to edit it tomorrow. I need to go to bed. She's a redhead now. She's a redhead now. And I have all of the witches who've been crucified walking behind me.